Think about the exact sequence of the words I'm saying right now. If I simply scrambled their order, this entire sentence would just instantly collapse into absolute gibberish.
Wow, complete gibberish, yeah.
Right. Well, welcome to today's custom deep dive for you, where we're unpacking a really fascinating guide called The Blueprint of English. Our mission today is basically to dig into the absolute non-negotiable engine of the English language.
Which is the subject-verb-object structure, or
Okay.
SVO.
Exactly, SVO. And we need to set the stakes right out of the gate here, because without understanding this strict pattern, constructing correct, meaningful English is, it's impossible.
It's completely impossible because English is a surprisingly rigid positional language.
Yeah.
The source material frames it beautifully, really. It says an English sentence isn't just a loose collection of words, it's a mechanical system.
Like a literal machine.
Yeah, exactly like a physical machine. It needs distinct parts operating in very specific sequence to actually function. So sentences rely on this basic SVO pattern to work. If you randomly swap the gears, the machine doesn't just run poorly, it completely jams.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. If the sentence is a strict machine, the blueprint offers a kind of shortcut trick to reverse engineer how it runs. We're supposedly just supposed to ask 3 fundamental questions, right?
Right, 3 questions.
Like who, what action, and what received. But honestly, for anyone communicating daily, do we really need a 3-question shortcut just to figure out who is doing what?
Well, you'd be surprised how easily those gears get hidden when sentences get complex. But if we use that shortcut to isolate the core mechanism, it perfectly reveals how the whole system connects. Let's look at the primary baseline example from the text. John plays football.
Right. Okay. So question 1, the who or the doer, that's our subject. Here it's John. Though the source points out it could be anyone turning the key, right? Like she or the boy or my friend.
Exactly, yeah. The
Yeah.
subject is the initiator.
Right.
Then we ask, well, what action? And that's our verb. So John plays.
The action.
Right. And the verb isn't just a word, it's the actual momentum transferring through the system. Whether it's run or eat or write, it's the force that's driving the sentence.
Which hits the final gear. What received? The object. John plays football. The football is basically just sitting there until John's action impacts it.
Exactly.
Whether it's a book or food or a letter, the object is always on the receiving end. But I do want to push back a little here.
Oh, okay.
The text leans on these incredibly elementary examples. Why are we stripping the language down to these absolute bare bones?
Well, because stripping it down exposes the raw physics of English syntax. Let's volley a few of the source's practice examples just to see what I mean. Think about the momentum in she reads a book.
Okay, or the teacher teaches students.
Right. Or the boy kicks the ball. In every single scenario, the SVO gear train transfers power in exactly one direction. The doer acts, the action happens, and the receiver takes the impact.
But wait, what if I decide to test that physics engine? Like, what if I keep the exact same words but just swap the subject and the object? So, the ball kicks the boy.
Oh, well, you've just rewritten reality.
Yeah.
And that's the underlying insight of the text, really.
Wait, how so?
Because in some languages, you can move words around freely because specific endings tell you who is the doer and who is the receiver. English doesn't do that at all.
Right, we don't have those endings.
Yeah, exactly. The SVO structure doesn't care about logic. It only cares about position.
Yes.
The first slot is the doer. The third slot is the receiver, period.
So even if it makes 0 logical sense for a ball to kick a boy, English syntax basically dictates that the ball is now the one doing the kicking.
Yep, position is everything.
So what does this all mean for you listening? It means that English isn't just a chaotic puzzle. It runs on a simple but incredibly powerful formula.
It does.
Whether you're writing a 2-word text message or a sprawling legal contract, the core physics remain identical. Once you train your brain to instantly spot those 3 slots, the doer, the action, and the receiver, the fundamental blueprint of the English language is entirely in your hands.
Yeah, it gives you structural control. You're not just hoping your point gets across. You're deliberately loading that SVO machine to guarantee it delivers the exact impact you intend.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. A thought experiment to leave you with, building on this whole idea of a strict one-way machine where the subject acts and the object perceives.
Okay, lay it on us.
What happens to the machine if that flow is deliberately manipulated? Think about it. How might a situation completely change, or how might responsibility just vanish if the receiver of an action was suddenly shoved right into the doer's seat?